were messages that I internalized. And it really stuck with me for a long time until I realized, oh, it's not that I'm too much, it's I'm too much for you. And you can only meet me as deeply as you have met yourself, and you haven't. And that's okay. Because in this world, you have choice, right? You can choose to do the work or choose not to do the work. You can choose to meet yourself deeply or not.
Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome to the Multiverse Podcast. Today, I'm excited to welcome Katherine, a professional presence expert, image consultant, and the creator of the whole person, whole presence philosophy. Through her focus on psychology, expression, and genuine self-knowing, she empowers people to break the rules, embrace freedom, and drive real change. Katherine, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Justin. It's great to be here.
You could kind of help the audience kind of learn a little bit about you. Tell us about like your journey and how you got to where you are now and how you're helping other people.
I would love to. I'm going to start after university because that was, we got to start somewhere and you can't start when I was 4. Yeah, it was interesting because so when I left university, I actually had 2 careers. I was singing in the opera professionally, and I was teaching music in the elementary school system. And it took me 12 years and a lung tumor to figure out that neither of those things were for me, because both of those careers have quite narrow parameters, and I'm not a very good small box person. But because I'm stubborn, and because I believed what my parents told me about work, and because I had these limiting beliefs about the world that I lived in, I stayed for much longer than I probably needed to. And so once I was diagnosed, I thought, okay, I don't need to die to be free of this world that I'm currently living in. I can just be free. I'm already free. And 6 months later, the tumor was gone, and I had a job doing corporate training at PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is one of the big 5 professional services accounting firms in the world. And in the middle of that, like within that 6 months, I was focusing on my health and I was working with a coach. And literally one day, this guy said to me, and he was kind of an alpha male dude. He was like, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up, little lady?" And I mean, today I'd be like, "You're fired. Don't talk to me like that." However, at the time, it was funny, right? I laughed. It was funny. And I literally had a vision, which is not something I had had before. I've had other downloads since then, but this was really clear. It was very specific. It was the company name. It was the tagline that I used. And I just started to laugh. It was image consulting. And I was like, it's not even a real job. Like, who does that job? And he said, to his credit, that's a real job. And you could do that job. And because there is no regulation in the image consulting industry at all, like you could hang your shingle out tomorrow and say, I'm an image consultant, and nobody would blink. Like it's completely unregulated. I thought, okay, well, I look all right. I've read some books. I'll just get a website and some business cards and start practicing. So that is what I did. And I built my business up around my corporate job. And then when I was divinely ejected from my corporate job in 2009, right in the middle of the recession, I'm like, great, this is a perfect time to start this full time. I really like it. Now I'm going to go get my training. So I went to Toronto here in Canada and I got my certifications in image consulting and advanced image consulting from the International Image Institute. And then the woman who runs that company, she liked me. So I interned with her and then she really liked me. So then she made me her Western Canada image trainer. So in addition to my private practice, I was also teaching consultants how to be consultants and chiefly teaching them the business of image, which was super interesting because I didn't know anything about business when I started. But because I had been successful early on, I had the opportunity to help others be the same. And so then what happened is as my people got promoted because of our work that we were doing together with their image and their identity and their leadership presence and all of those pieces, they started to say to me, well, we want you to come and work with our executive teams, but we're tired of explaining to the people that write the checks that you're not really an image consultant, that you're doing more than that. So we need you to change your business name. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'll just be Lazaruk Consulting and now I can do what I like. Unlimited.
That is awesome. And I've never heard of a business image consultant.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey for sure.
What do you do with that? Why do you need to worry about your image? I mean, most of us leaders are perfect. What are you talking about?
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Okay, so there's 2 kind of roads we could go down with this. The first is my personal belief that whatever container you arrived here on the planet in is the perfect container to do whatever it is you're meant to do on the planet. So the sooner you make friends with your container, the easier your life is going to roll. And that means using your body and using your container as a way into your identity and a way into your purpose in life. So for example, when I was younger and singing in the opera, I always wanted to be like the 3rd act diva princess, like, Alfredo, save me, but I'm not. I'm I'm the naughty chambermaid, like full sidekick energy, full donkey and Shrek. I'm short. I'm a
Oh
little
yeah.
round. I'm a little rude. So I'm not going to be that like tall, fainting leading lady because that's not who I am. But I'm a great sidekick. I'm a great support person for people. And I use that example because I want people that are listening to start thinking about what is it about me that is unique and letting go of what your ego thinks you should be, right? Because
Mm,
I want it to be the third act diva because I want it to be celebrated. I want it to be heard. I want it to be seen. And I realized that that was not like pushing into something that I'm not is not the way to do that. It's really about allowing who I am to strip away the layers of what other people thought I should be and just be myself. And I want that for everybody because honestly, wearing a mask all the time is exhausting.
it does get tiring. I had to hang both of mine up back there, and get rid of them.
Super tiring to wear a mask all the time. So
It's a balancing act.
in my most recent book, Executive Being, which I published last year, Humanizing Business One Leader at a Time, I actually wrote about the masks that we wear and why it's tiring and why it's a waste of energy to be masking all the time. Now, to be fair, in the corporate world, there are certain expectations because when I talk to people about their image, I talk about the 3 C's. I talk about character, which is just what I was talking about. Who you are at 4 is who you are at 104, right? That's the core. That's the place where you start with everything. Then you want to think about congruence, which do your insides match your outsides? And does your environment match you? Like, are you in a place that feels aligned, where you're celebrated, not tolerated, where you are seen for who you are, where you can share all your gifts? And then the last piece that I talk about is choice. Because if you have a certain number of expectations in your industry or in your city or in your country or wherever you are, you get to choose how much you want to meet those expectations and how much you want to challenge them. So there's always an element of choice with your image that you to get to decide, do I want to use my image to support this or do I want to use my image to challenge this?
Like,
Character, congruence, and choice. And so you said earlier, you're like, why does it matter? It matters because we live in a visual world. I would love to work myself out of a job where we have the don't judge a book by its cover, but humans are meaning making machines. And so the better you know yourself, the better you are dressed in alignment with who you really are, the easier it is for people to understand you and for you to understand yourself. And it becomes a mode of communication and it becomes a mode of self-discovery that is unparalleled. I don't think there's any other way into yourself that gives you the same kind of depth as paying attention to your container and what you're putting on it. Because you're meant to be here, right? Nature doesn't make mistakes.
yeah, I feel like you're reaching inside my brain right now and just like pulling these things out that's been on my mind. I've been trying to figure out.
Yeah, totally.
It's been the challenge trying to align these things up. I challenge everything. And that's my
Right.
choice, is to challenge everything mentally and physically possible.
I'm with
Always
you.
be like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? But why? But why? I don't like that. But we can do it this way anyway.
Right. Right.
And
One of my
then
least favorite
get
phrases
mad.
is, it's the way we've always done it. I'm like, "But why?"
Oh God. I almost pass out on the floor when I hear that. I'm like, no, no, you did not just say that to me. And
Sorry
they
to
stand
trigger
there
you.
like this. I did. What? I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my goodness.
terrible.
That's a dangerous phrase right there.
It is.
Highly toxic too, depending on how you look at it. But I love how you said it's a choice because, and you were talking about the ego earlier, because it's so hard sometimes to grasp the concept of choice. Our ego gets in the way. It's so strong. It's so powerful. It shows us who we think we are, who we think we want to be, but not actually who we really are on the inside.
Right.
And it's a fight. That alignment from the inside and the outside doesn't always line up. And it's
Mhm.
just like, I'm going through that right now, trying to figure that one out. But I've noticed each day it gets a little better, but I'm like, am I going in the right direction? Am I challenging myself enough on this? Am I asking myself the right questions? And it's confusing sometimes. It's hard. It's not an easy thing.
I think it's the great lesson of our lives, though, because why else are you embodied? Because when you're in the other realms, in the spirit realms or whatever you were before you got here, everything is much easier because you're not fighting the corporeal world and you're all one. So when you come here, you're consciously choosing to be separate. I mean, even though we're not really separate, but you're consciously choosing this life of embodiment. You're choosing to be in the material world. You're choosing to have the challenges that come with having a body. You're choosing to have the issues that come in a material world. And so figuring out this alignment piece there's no way to do it except from the inside out. Because unless you have really good people around you who accurately reflect who you are to you, they'll never know. You're the expert on you. So you're the one that has to figure it out. And that super sucks if it's hard.
I
It's
love
also
it is
worthy work.
because we're social creatures by nature. So we always look to the people that are around us to kind of reflect who we think we are.
Mhm.
And it's usually not always the same reflection.
It's true. And I think too, I know for me in my life growing up, my parents provided some really strong messages to me that I believe were unintentional. I don't think they meant for me to take away this learning. But what I learned from them is play it small, play it safe. What you want is too big and impossible. Who you are is too much. Who you are, like you need to calm down. You're too dramatic. All those kinds of things were
Calm down.
messages that, right, calm down, were messages that I internalized. And it really stuck with me for a long time until I realized, oh, it's not that I'm too much, it's I'm too much for you. And you can only meet me as deeply as you have met yourself, and you haven't. And that's okay. Because in this world, you have choice, right? You can choose to do the work or choose not to do the work. You can choose to meet yourself deeply or not.
Powerful.
But yeah, you can only meet me at the level that you're at. And so I'm going to go find someplace where I have rooms now of people that are just as big as me and love it.
God, I love how you put that. That way dug into like my growth in childhood also. Because
Mhm.
I would always be kind of, I guess, the loudest person. People would be like, oh, you're too much. I
I
mean, I'm
know.
on the autism spectrum. I had ADD, whatever box they put me in when I was younger. But I was always so loud, so creative, so daring and bold, to question and do things. And like, I always thought it was something wrong with me for the longest time.
I know.
I
And
always
that's
like
the worst.
suppressed it.
Yeah. I think the worst message that because children will always think it's their fault.
Yeah.
Unless an adult explicitly explains to them, there's nothing wrong with you. You're learning how to be in the world. There are other people in the world, so the world does not revolve around you, but you also need to learn how to interact with the world, but there's nothing wrong with you. Let's find you an environment in which you can thrive. And let's face it, I mean, the school environment, having taught in it for a long time, is
Oh,
not for people that are unique. And there's
no,
so
it's
much that
not.
we've learned about education, and education hasn't changed a whole lot in the last 100 years, except in places like Montessori schools or Waldorf schools or places where they're a little bit more progressive and more student centered. But yeah, I think the worst message that anyone can internalize is I'm wrong. There's something wrong with me. Because the truth is, if anyone's listening out there right now and you're thinking that, I am here to tell you there is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with
I
you. You're
love
not broken. You might be a bit squished, but you're not broken.
it.
And what is within you is here for a reason, is here for the world. So your task is to attune to that and attend to that and bring it forward.
God, I love that. It's so powerful. I always say we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And the way I
Absolutely.
say that is that there's so much on the inside of us as a spiritual being. But human body just can't embody it. They can't handle all of it. It wants to get out of it. I feel like the body's like holding us down to a point. We
You
just
know,
want to be free.
it's
We want to
interesting.
express.
I actually disagree.
Yeah,
And
please.
I'll tell you why I disagree. I disagree because I think the body is actually the channel. So, yes, if you allow the body to limit you, sure. But if you are attuned to and in alignment with your body, then your body becomes a beautiful vessel and a beautiful conduit for your spirit to be out in the world.
So I guess the main thing is how do I become this? I'm sure I'm out of line with my body
Okay.
100%. I'm
Okay.
positive, especially
All
from
right.
that what you just said to me. But someone else is out there like, well, I'm out of alignment, but what the hell can I do about it? I mean, I know
What do I do about it? I know. Yeah. So in the programs that I teach, I actually help people look at this inner, like, who are you as a person? So we do deep dive investigation on who are you? What was your childhood? What was your upbringing? What messages did you have as a kid? Who are you as a person? And then we do a deep dive, and you can do that, a little bit of that exploration on your own. For sure. You can start looking back into your past for the lessons that it provided you. And you can think about, what is it that I love to do? There are many things that you already know about yourself that are important. You can bring those forward. And then what I help people do also is help them get into congruence, where it's looking at the environment that they're currently in. Where is it aligned? Where is it misaligned? Where are your friendship groups good for you? Where are they not? Where is your family good for you? Where is it not? Where is your work good for you? Where is it not? Where are
ooh,
your other life choices good for you? Where are they not? And come try to bring those things into more closer alignment with who you are. And then really making some significant choices about who do I need to be in order to be the best possible vessel and channel for what my soul really came here to do.
Hey, my fellow humans, sorry to interrupt your video, but if you're looking for more ways to protect and empower your healthcare practice, we would love to help. At ITCMD, our mission is to simplify IT, boost security, and support your compliance journey with a human touch so you can focus on caring for your patients. Want to see how easy IT and cybersecurity can be? Schedule a free consult or check out our resources at iteecmd.net. Let's build a safer, stronger future together. Okay, bye. I've actually been learning about that, realigning my identity with who I need to become to be the
Yeah,
person I need to be.
that's right. It's all about your identity. It's who you
Yeah.
believe that you are, shapes everything else that you do.
Yeah, because so many old parts of who I used to be and identify with, they're still kind of like trying to come into play with right now who I'm trying to be. Just kind of
Yeah.
back and forth, bad habits, good guy, bad guy, just yin yang going back and forth.
Yeah. I
But
call
it's
them my
getting better.
gremlins.
Ooh, I like
My
that. Well, there's
gremlins.
like
And
thousands
actually,
of them behind me right now.
my husband and I came up with a game because, we each have our own gremlins. And so now we have this game where whenever either one of us catches a gremlin, we actually say out loud, "Oh, I just caught a gremlin." And then you get a kiss
What?
for catching the gremlin. And that's really been productive for us.
How do you catch your own Are you catching your own gremlins or
Yeah, because
catching
you
each
notice it.
other's?
Because you notice it. So I'm trying to think of like when I catch a gremlin. So this morning, I'm on our walk, right? And my gremlins love to say things like, just get a job. Why is this so important? This work isn't that important. You could just get a job
I hear
and make
that
some
one
bank,
too.
right? That's a gremlin, and I know exactly where it comes from. It's totally my parental safety voices where they really wanted me to be financially safe. And for them, financial safety is a steady job. That's how they see it. They don't see entrepreneurial life as a safe choice. So as soon as I hear that voice, I immediately am able to, I'm like, oh, okay, gremlin, I hear you. I see you. Get off my bus. You're not allowed. I literally will either put like in my mind, I have like a stop sign that comes up in front of them, or I will imagine them like on getting on like off an old fashioned bus where I have to like open the door and they have to get off the bus. And I just close the door and keep driving. I'm like, I cannot keep you on this bus anymore. You're really critical. If you want to change into something where you're more discerning, if you want to change into something where you're using that critical judgment to actually help me, great. But if you're just going to tell me to do something that I already know is not right for me, I've lived that life. It's not right for me. I already know that. So stop telling me to go back.
I feel like those gremlins, they come back though sometimes.
Of course. Of
Like,
course they
like,
do. And then you
is
just
there
keep.
anything you can do to keep them away, or do you have to just do such deep work on yourself where those gremlins change their tune?
It's a little bit of both. So some of my gremlins have been transformed into my biggest cheerleaders, but some of them still come back and they're old voices. And what I notice is the more I practice inviting them to leave and kicking them off my bus, the less often they come back. And I just keep doing it. It's like meditation or yoga or working out at the gym or you're just doing the reps. And you just keep doing the reps until the problem is gone. But
That's
people think, oh, if I have this pattern, I'm always going to have this pattern. But that's not actually true. It is a very conscious effort though, because the mental paths that you run all the time are like superhighways. They're easy, they're paved, they're, 8 lanes wide.
comfortable.
They're comfortable, they're easy. When you go to do a new thing, it's like hacking a path through the jungle with a machete that's dull. You have to really work on it and create the
Every
path
morning.
and redirect every time you catch it as much as possible. And one of the most effective strategies for that is simply noticing and naming. I notice there's a gremlin, and I'm just going to say, and that's the first step. I notice it. 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 And then you become aware to the stories that you're telling yourself. And then the second part of this equation that's really important is it's not just about the mind, it's also about your body. If your body does not feel safe, then your mind is never going to be able to, you cannot think your way into a new pattern if your body's not on board. So then you want to think about what kind of somatic practices, like you and I shared a nervous system, like a vagus nerve tool just before the podcast.
Yeah.
What kind of bodily signals can I give to my body? Because my body doesn't speak the language of words, it speaks the language of sensation. What kind of sensations can I give to my body to tell it that it's safe for it to use the calories I ate at breakfast to change this thought pattern? There's no bears coming. No one's chasing us. I am safe. It is safe. I can use this energy to change this pattern.
And that's powerful. That really hit me really hard because I'm actually going through some things with some PTSD right now. My
Okay.
body's not safe. You just kind of really spoke to me. So I'm
That's right.
actually getting into somatic therapy and understanding how that works more.
Yeah.
I'm in
It's
that fight,
huge.
fight, fight. I'm like stuck right there.
Yeah, exactly. And even in its less extreme forms, that kind of bodily memory can stop you from moving forward. So if
It is.
anybody's in the situation or you're in the situation yourself where you're not able to move forward even though you want to and you get this idea of self-sabotage, it's not really a thing because all your body is trying to do is keep you safe in the best way that it knows how. So using somatic like body-based practices, sensations can actually help your body understand, oh, it is actually I am actually in this present moment safe. I can close that emotional stress loop. I can let that experience go.
So like
I
giving
can shake
myself
it out.
permission.
Yeah, I give myself first of all, I love myself enough to change this pattern for me because it's not serving me. And I also am compassionate about how this pattern got created. And I am worthy of change, so I'm going to make the change. And I'm going to do whatever I can to support my body so that my mind can then do its work. Because my mind cannot do its mindset work without my body being
No, it's
involved.
a constant battle.
Yeah, and our world has done a really great job. Like this is part of our sort of patriarchal construct and the construct that we're living in right now is this big disconnection from the mind and the body,
God, 100%.
right? Huge disconnection. And the thing is that people that are disembodied are easy to control because your
Yes.
mind is a chatterbox. Your body understands what is safe. Like your body has a lot of sensory information. In fact, about 85% of the information you take in comes from your body to your brain, not the other way around. So often when I'm working with leaders, I'll be like, look, if you're not paying attention to your body, you're missing out on a huge wealth of information that your body could be giving you to make better decisions and to take better actions.
God damn. Wow. That's just powerful because it's help. I'm holding myself back right now with this going on from knowing the leader that I can be to that
Yeah,
next level leadership in my life.
that's right.
And it's just keeping me out of alignment where I am right now. So it's just like, it's just comforting. It's safe, like you said, it's not allowing me to build new synapses in my brain to recover and move to the next step.
Yeah. And it's definitely really important to recognize, like, I think your self awareness is beautiful around, oh, I recognize there's an issue.
Just
That is
started to.
so perfect. And that's perfect, right? That's where every change starts is if someone says, oh, I think this is not working, or I think I might be out of alignment, or I think that, and how do you know you're out of alignment? It doesn't feel good,
It feels awkward and weird. You're like,
right?
ah.
Yeah. Like if you feel good, it's good. If you don't feel good, it's not good. And I'm going to caveat this by saying, like, there are things like, I don't know, you want to get high and that feels good in the moment, but do you feel good the next day? Probably
Hell
not.
no.
Right.
It
So
gets
it's like,
depressing and
I
dark.
understand. I understand that the getting high part can be fun. And I understand that the getting high part can help you escape something. And I always think too that the more, at least in my experience, the more work that I've done to get connected to my body, the less I actually have those kinds of behaviors. So I
You
just
know,
don't do that because I'm connected to myself and I'm connected to my source and I'm connected to my community. So I don't need the connection to getting high.
that's really
Right.
powerful because I've been getting high off of going to the gym. I go about 5 or 6 days a week. I've been getting so high off of that, doing that and realizing that I wasn't really connected with my body anymore. So I started doing
Okay.
more mobility training, more
Right.
like flexibility, my
Beautiful.
yoga and stuff. And I found
Yeah.
that got more centered and brought me back along with the weight training, not just the weight training only.
That's right. Because we don't live in an either or world. We live in an
Yeah.
and world.
I felt so much better lately from doing that.
Yeah,
It was just
totally.
mind blowing. So I love how you said that. 'Cause I was like, whoa, she's so
Yeah,
true. You put the into
interesting.
words by action of putting the words I've never actually heard put before. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Man, this is amazing information. It's like we're inside my head right now. Like, whew. I'm
It's
like,
one of my
"No,
specialties, man. You're not alone.
how are you, Catherine? Oh my goodness.
And just a little magic. It's all right.
It's
Calm down. You're
amazing.
okay. It's safe. I got you.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. And now all this makes sense. And we talked about earlier why image matters. It also kind of makes sense because if you don't take care of these things, that can make that image to be detrimental to your health, your business, the people around you. And you're projecting this person who you're not really this person, but you're projecting it onto other people. And you're
Totally.
not getting things done for those people or yourself. And that you're
Exactly.
fighting this uphill battle.
I often say to clients, I say, image only matters where it matters, but where it matters, it really matters. So what I
Ooh,
mean by that
yeah.
is, particularly if you're using your image as a way into your identity, then it's very important to be connected to it. If you're using your image as a vehicle for you to achieve what it is you want to achieve, then it's also very important. If there's certain environments that you're operating in that expect you to embody a certain kind of image, then great, right? Then it is really important. Like, for example, if you're in the legal field and you're presenting at court, there's certain items of clothing that you wear that signify who you are. It's like a series of stories about who you are. And I mean, this kind of thing is embodied really deeply in Indigenous practices. I just visited the Museum of Anthropology here on my vacation in Vancouver recently, just the other day, and I was struck by how clothing and symbolic items and hats and treasures actually were used as documentation of who this person was, what their lineage was. They were like legal agreements.
Oh,
Your
I've heard
clothing
that.
literally told a story. And I think in our Western world, that's been watered down somewhat, but the same principle does still hold true. What you are wearing and how you're showing up tells a story about who you are and helps you move in the world in particular ways. Where it matters, it really matters. But you know what? If you're on the beach with your kids and you have baby body and you have like a stretched out stomach from having kids or whatever, and you want to wear a bikini, wear the bikini. It doesn't matter. No one's looking and your body deserves some sunshine,
So I can wear a
right?
suit and tie on the beach, no problem. Okay.
You can if you want. You'll be hot though. But you know what I mean? Like where it
Yeah,
matters, it really matters. But if you're on the couch at home and you're chilling and you just want to be comfortable, it doesn't matter. It's more about how you are feeling in your own body and how you are feeling in the environment that you're in. That is a great barometer for, are you in alignment or out of alignment?
like that. Because I know I find myself as kind of a chameleon sometimes. I kind of have my own style and who I am, but depending on where I go, I'll kind of adapt myself to that environment to a
Right.
degree, you
Which is a
know?
great survival strategy.
Yeah. I've done that my whole life. I didn't know why I was doing it or what it was.
Yeah, it's a great survival strategy. And it's also, I think then I would question the degree of adaptation. So
Yeah.
you want to see, like, is this adaptation actually serving me or is it hindering me?
I've
Like, am I
learned that.
adapting so much that I don't know who I am anymore? Like, I
Yeah.
see that sometimes in the people that I work with where they've checked all the boxes and they've gotten all the titles and they've gotten all the money and they've gotten all the things. And then they're like, oh, I don't really know who I am. Or who I am is secretly hidden from this persona that I'm projecting.
And they'll never show or tell you who they are. 'Cause they will never
That's
know
right.
themselves who they really are.
Yeah, unless they want to do the work, which I've done some beautiful work, seen beautiful results with clients, seen people exit jobs that weren't serving them, seen people get promoted into jobs that were serving them where they were underappreciated at the company that they were in. I've had people revamp their entire wardrobes and come out as this amazingly colorful, alive person, and then opportunities flow to them because of that. It's all about this alignment piece. And I just don't want people to be hiding. I don't want people to be hiding because I don't think that we need to. I think we need to be shining more than hiding.
100%. You know, that little light of mine shine.
That's right. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
I
Right?
just had that on in my head the other day thinking about it, like, man, I've come a long way and my light's shining
Yeah,
more and more each day.
that's beautiful.
I forget sometimes to give myself credit for the things that I've accomplished and doing. I'm always looking to the future, the stuff that I want to do. I have to
I
remember the
know.
present. I've done this. I've done that. I've stopped doing this. Get, live in that presence. It's so hard sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like right now, this is where I am, and it's enough.
Yeah, it's
This is where I am, and it's enough because everybody's on their own journey. You're on
yes.
your own journey. There's no way. I heard somebody say the other day, compare and despair. Really,
I did
because
that for
you're
a
on your
long time.
yeah, you're on your own journey. And I sometimes find myself getting caught up in that as well. And then I remember I'm like, oh, but I made some really good choices for myself that have brought me to this place that I wouldn't change. And I think about when you're going up a mountain, you're often looking at the top and going, oh, I have so far to go. And if you stop for a minute and look down the mountain, you're like, oh, actually, oh, look at that. I did
So
this thing. I
true.
wrote 3 books and I established this practice and I started this new thing and I did this award or I did whatever it was, sang these songs or I don't know, whatever it was, or I had these relationships or any of those things. I think it's so, so important to actually acknowledge and celebrate the things that you did. Even if it was the tiniest thing. Like let's say you did the dishes this morning.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like Give yourself some props for that. Let's say you turned your laptop off at lunch and stepped outside and touched grass for 5 minutes. Yes, do that thing and celebrate all of these tiny little moments, because why else are you here if
Nice.
not to celebrate being alive,
Being human.
right? Being human. And I think the work that I do is
Yeah.
basically all about this identity and waking people up to the joy of being human. And not only just being human, but being human in only the way that you can be human.
Your uniqueness.
Yeah, absolutely.
I recently just learned there's a difference between thinking I'm special, but knowing that I'm unique.
Yes, that's
You know,
great. That's a
I
great way to
learned
put
that
it.
recently.
Yeah, and it's a little bit like I am very special, and so is everyone else, every single person. And I think what we're seeing in our world right now is mass dehumanization.
100%.
Right, is mass division. And you're like, wait a minute, that person across the line over there ranting about someone's right to be here is the same as me. Like, I could easily have those dark thoughts, but I'm choosing not to. But that doesn't make them bad or wrong. It just makes them a product of their environment and their choices.
When I was younger, I was like 15, 16. I'd go to like anti-war, anti-police protests, and I'd be that person shouting and screaming out there. You know, and I look back on that, the way I was feeling, the things I was going through, the things that put me there were a lot different than how I see things and my choices now.
Mhm.
Like I feel and understand why people are doing that sometimes.
Right. And I do think that absolutely our leadership needs to be held accountable. Because
Yeah,
otherwise, why am I working in leadership if I don't believe leaders need to be unique and human and accountable?
100%.
So 100% leaders should serve the people that they're serving, and they need to be held accountable for what they're doing. And if they're not doing a good job, then they need to be removed from whatever office or role that they are in, because they're not upholding pro-social behavior, right? Like the
Yeah.
things that you would take a kindergarten child aside for and be like, hey, buddy, see how maybe this is not working really great for you? Maybe we could try something different. These are the same behaviors that you're seeing exhibited on the world stage by adults who are supposed to be the leaders. And I'm like, come on now.
No one's saying anything. No one's doing anything. Everyone's just like we said earlier, this is how it is. I'll go
Right.
find something else.
Right, but you're not powerless. So it starts with you as an individual, which is all about the work that I do. And then what you do, as every little bit of work you do to heal yourself as an individual helps to heal the collective.
Ooh, I love.
Every piece of work you do has a ripple effect. Because if you clean up some of the mess inside yourself, then you don't go around putting that mess on other people.
Can we get this on record, recorded? People can watch it. Hold on a minute.
It's this idea about every single step you take towards a better life provides a better life for the collective. Because I know that our Western world in particular, is heavily weighted towards the individual and individual freedom. And I think that's very important. And when people are like, "Oh, well, society is like this," I'm like, well, who do you think is society, dummy? Like, it's us. We are society. So if we want society to be different, then we need to be different. And we need to call out the people that are doing things that we don't think are aligned with what our countries, our values stand for.
God, that is so powerful and well said. And I feel that because sometimes I train of thought. Sorry.
He said,
My
sometimes
brain shut off. I was like, hold on, what?
I broke you. Oh no.
I my brain was just going so fast trying to process all that because I experience that. I see it every day.
Mhm.
And just like sometimes people are coming from that place of not understanding. It's just how do you have those conversations with them? How do you let them know that it's a social thing, but you can change that as a society? Okay, I remember now.
I mean, you're already doing it. You're already doing it because you're doing a podcast about it and you're doing your own work and you lead by example.
Yes.
Like,
Now I
I
remember.
do what I teach and I teach what I do. Because if I was just teaching it and not doing it, well, that's not useful and that's not in
People can feel
integrity.
that. They see it,
Yeah, it's not. And people have good bullshit detectors. They can smell you a mile away if you're not
right?
actually doing what you need to do.
I remember now that I found my voice doing this podcast. As I found my voice, I found my empowerment. As I found my
Exactly.
empowerment, I was able to help change the way I saw my environment and people around me to help empower my friends and those I choose to have around me as well. So a lot of change.
Absolutely.
You change inside, you said inside out. I saw that I went through this process.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean every day is going to be easy 'cause every day is not. It's tough.
No,
I
no.
just learned something recently about you can have days like 13%, 25%, 80%, 90%, but we think they're all supposed to be 100. But that's not reality. And we kind of get diluted in that kind of deconstructive thinking.
I'm a big fan of, like, the smallest, like the bare ass minimum. What is like the one thing that if I do it today is going to feel satisfying? So like, for example, I'm seeing you today, which is great. And I have content that I want to write for my Sacred Image program. I'm facilitating module 5 tomorrow, and I want to write the content for module 5. And so that's what I'm going to do. And that just doing that is enough. Yesterday was my first day back from vacation. So I spent a lot of time catching up on my 238 emails, and that is
Oh,
enough. I blocked time in my calendar for it, and I did it, and that was enough. And so I think this is like what for all the people that are listening. And if you feel powerless, or if you feel in a place where you feel stuck, I want you to think about not the big hairy goal. Like I have big hairy goals to reach, millions of people and impact the world.
mhm.
But don't think about the big hairy goal. Think about the one thing. What is the seed you're going to plant today? What is the one thing you're going to do today? What is the one promise you're going to make to yourself today and keep? Where are you going to keep your word? Because the more often you keep your word to yourself, that builds self-efficacy and it builds your internal power and gives you motivation to continue. So what is the one thing? And then sometimes if you don't quite finish that thing or you need a little more time, then okay, you're human. Well, start again tomorrow.
I always forget sometimes that I'm human. I always think I'm a machine. I'm a machine, but I'm not a machine. But
You're not.
somehow in this social construct of we are machines and we have to be that way, it gets a little frustrating. And I have to remind myself I'm a human being.
Yeah. Well, I
It's
really
hard.
do think that that comes from the construct that we've been living in, this sort of patriarchal construct we've been living in for a long time, because that was created like in the 4th century.
Go to school, go to work, get this
Yeah,
done, go
right.
home.
And it's consumerist, it's capitalist. So we have a lot of people that have bad cases of internalized capitalism where they think if I'm not producing, then I'm not worthy.
Yes.
But that's not actually true. So your worth is inherent and it's righteous and it's given. It just is what it is. And then whatever you produce or whatever work you do is just a cherry on top, just a bonus.
I'm learning
Everyone
that
else
out of
follow.
myself right now.
Yeah.
I put better things into place to understand that more.
Yeah. And it's interesting because when we think about identity I think is at the core of all of that. And so the work that I do is really about helping people center in on their identity. And then all of this stuff kind of lives around it like a beautiful constellation. Like, okay, so the work that we're doing is on identity and getting you aligned and figuring out who you are and what you're meant to do, and then helping equip you with the skills and talents to do that thing. And then, a sideline is mindset, and a sideline is image, and a sideline is like emotional work, and a sideline is somatic work, and a sideline is political activism, and a sideline is, education of some kind, and a sideline is loving yourself more. Like there's all these different pieces that live in the constellation, but the core of it, the heart of it, the sun of it is this identity piece in the work
So
that I do.
all those pieces used to overwhelm me. But as I
Hmm.
kept doing the work, understanding everything, I realized how much I can really take on and how much I can really do. Before it was like 1 or 2 or 3 things, but now I can do like 30 or 40 things and still be at my normal level. Before
Yeah.
I could do that, but I had to work on that.
About increasing your capacity to hold
I,
and channel more.
yeah, we have such large capacity, but some of us never give ourselves enough time or patience to actually experience how we can build that into ourselves.
Right. And then the sort of the flip side of that too is situating yourself in a place that feels really comfortable. So there are people in the world that are so happy doing their job from 9 to 5 and going home. They're like,
Yeah,
my work makes
speak
a
to me.
difference. I'm doing this bookkeeping work and it helps another business thrive and make better decisions. And I really like being in the spreadsheets and I really like being in the computer programs. And I like this work. I like this container. And it is fully 100% okay to stay in a container that feels delicious to you, that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be some grandiose gesture. Not everybody needs to be a billionaire. Like, this is crazy,
I'm gonna save the
right?
world.
Yeah. Just think about, so when people think about save the world, they think about it on such a large scale, but I really believe that every small action you do is saving the world on a small scale every day. Like I remember there was this one time I was in a grocery store down in California. I was working with a client down there and I just had gone into this grocery store and I was walking by and I saw this woman standing in the line with an armful of, like, she's the one who came in for one thing and ended up with 8 things, right? So she has this huge armful and she's like struggling to hold it. And I just walked over and got a basket and I brought it over to her and I'm like, here you go. You're waiting in line. Here's a basket. And she was like, oh my God, thank you. Like, where did you come from? I'm like, you needed help. I gave you a basket.
People get
And
weird sometimes, like, wait, you're helping me? What?
right. And like small, tiny things like that help to heal and save the world as much as large scale protests or any of those things. And like writing your congressman or your congresswoman, right? 5 minutes, email, they might not read it, but they do have to track the volume of things that come in and on what topics. So those directions actually help them understand what their constituents really want. These kinds of like small things are both singular and collective at the same time. And you can do both.
Think about that. I know I'm still like in the middle of that because for a long time, I was thought like the Superman syndrome, the big
Yeah.
things, but
Right.
realizing it is the small things. And like, it's weird because I used to always like with relationships and stuff, I always like the small things. Then like with my personal and business, it was like the big things, but not realizing that just the small things are what matters so much.
Yeah. It's the
And it's over
foundational
time.
pieces.
Yeah.
Yep. Small
We're
wins
all
add up
like,
over time.
yeah, let's just do big stuff.
Yeah.
And
Don't
it's
have to
kind
work
of
so
hard.
hard now.
I know, right? It's like a lot of us are so busy and not actually productive and work way too hard on things that don't matter,
Yeah.
things that
I
don't
would,
make
I
us happy.
think I think like 50% of what people do doesn't actually matter. And if you can
I
prune
did
out the
more of that.
50%, if you prune out the 50% of stuff that doesn't matter, you'll have all your energy to work on the things that do.
Yeah, I mean, I find myself still there time to time, but I'm still in the middle of working for a company, building my company, and building my podcast.
It's
So it's
great.
I have to just kind of, I'm
Yeah,
going to be here temporarily, but then eventually I'm going to be right here. And then it's just kind of just cycle and keep
that's right.
going.
That's right. And it's just where you are. It's not who you are.
Took me a while to learn that one. I was really a perfectionist, and like my everything relied on like who I was, my title, stuff like that. I didn't understand that for a long time.
Yeah. And that's just social conditioning, trauma response. You're like, oh, I'm going to be a perfectionist so no one can judge me. Nothing
Yeah,
gets you out of being human, no matter what you do.
and nothing gets done in that perfectionism.
Yeah, because you just get
Get
blocked.
nothing done. I got more done now that I started letting go, and then started having conversations like this with people like yourself to really realize the small little. You're not gonna remember all the conversation, but a lot of things that resonate and you remember and stick with you. And like one of my coaches say, like you were saying earlier, that 0.001% is what matters each time.
Right.
Just
That's
focus
right.
on that.
Yeah. I love it when my clients will come back and I'll meet them and be like, oh my God, you're in my head every day. I'm like, great. I hope it's a good voice.
I see you, it's like, hey, I'm like,
Right.
"There's- right there.
Like, oh, what would Catherine do? Oh, what did she say about that? Like in my head. I'm like, good, good. I want to be a good voice in your head that tells you you are amazing, that tells you you're
I have a
incredible, that tells you
gremlin
you're
here. I have Catherine here.
that's right. On the other side going, hey, kick that gremlin off.
Catherine, it's been an amazing conversation with you today. I definitely would love to have you back on here and go even further into these things about expression, psychology, and all that.
Let me know. Anytime. I've really enjoyed the conversation as well. And I hope that it's been of value to someone who's listening. And I also want to encourage your
Yeah,
listeners to realize that what is for you will not pass by you. So you don't have to remember everything when you're listening to a podcast, but just whatever it is, that one thing, just let it stick with you and let it be with you and let it help you.
I have that kind of same thing when I read books. When I read so many books. I'm like, I have to remember all of this. I'm not going to remember it. I'm like, you're not going to remember it. It's okay.
No. And you'll remember what you need exactly when you need it.
Yes, I've noticed that too. This little things stick with me.
Yeah, totally.
Before we go today, is there any last things you'd like to leave our audience with and how they can reach out to you?
I think what I would like to say is go within to go without. It all starts with you. It's all your own inner journey before you can do anything in the outside world. It has to come from within. And I am easy to find. I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn are my two favorite platforms. And if you like the reflections that you've heard today and you want more, I actually write every week whole notes about being whole and notes on image, life, and leadership. And if you would like to join our community, then you can find me at lzrkconsulting.com. Contact and sign up, come find us. And I'll be in your inbox every week with some inspirational messages.
Thank you so much. We'll leave that in the show notes.
You can also find my books on all popular platforms as well. Katherine Lazaruk.
Before we go, one last question for you. What does it mean to you to be a human being?
What does it mean to me to be a human being? It means to be unlimited and limited all at the same time. And the work of being human is to resolve that paradox as best you can every single day.
Wow, that was really powerful. I had to really take that one in. Thank you so much. So write
You're
that
welcome.
down.
Yeah, write
Limiting.
it down. I'm great with sound bites, man. I'm super quotable.
I have to learn from you here.
Try to get me on long form. It's like, oh my God. But sound bites, I can do that.
I'm gonna have to take some notes from Catherine.
There you go. Anytime.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Appreciate your time today.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. Bye.